to a judge whether to hold him in secure detention or not. That's what prosecutors and the juvenile probation counselor asked for. After hearing from both sides, the court did hold him in secure detention. So now Seattle police investigators have until Wednesday at 4:30 to get a case to us to review for a rush filing.
Investigators with Seattle police are coming down to the deadline as that 15-year-old arrested in connection to the bite of Seattle is expected back in court tomorrow. Right now, it is unclear if he will be tried as a minor or as an adult. Fox 13's Taylor Winkle is digging into the process for Washington State and joining us now with a closer look at what could happen. Good morning, Taylor.
Yeah, good morning, Maria. So quick note off the top here, the 15-year-old is a minor, so we are not going to name him. We are not going to show his face. We have reached out to the prosecuting attorney's office, though, and right now we're expecting a decision on his charges today ahead of his court appearance tomorrow. As of right now, he's being held in juvenile detention. Court documents show a judge found probable cause to hold him on suspicion of 3 counts of first-degree assault and 1 count of second-degree unlawful possession of a firearm. Now, if he was 16 or 17 under Washington state law, he would automatically be charged as an adult and automatically transferred to adult court. But because he's 15, that automatic transfer does not apply here. In previous cases involving 15-year-olds, assault, guns, and gang activity, we have seen prosecutors ask the judge to move the case to adult court, though. It is an extensive process that could take months or years to reach a final ruling on, and in it, the judge evaluates the nature of the offense, criminal history, maturity, and rehabilitation programs available. Here in Washington, the differences between youth and adult court are quite substantial in everything from the philosophy to the sentencing lengths. One is ran by the Department of Children, Youth, and Families, the other by the Department of Corrections. And with 2 innocent bystanders dead here, a father and a grandmother, there still aren't any homicide charges filed. Prosecutors are likely reviewing evidence right now. We've asked if they could possibly file more charges ahead of court tomorrow. We are waiting to hear back. In the meantime, Seattle Police Department mentioned ghost guns play a role here. Coming up in the next 30 minutes, we are looking more into how that might affect this case. In the meantime, live for you in Seattle, I'm Taylor Winkle, Fox 13 News.
Thank you, Taylor. Now, there is no CCTV cameras near Seattle Center. Forensic detectives are looking into what private cameras may have captured. There was a camera at a teriyaki spot that was live streaming during the festival when those shots were fired. The video captured by the vendors shows people running in a panic, and then you can see police rushing into the area in that opposite direction.
We're also learning more about the delay in getting safety information to the public after the shooting. Those shots were fired right around 6 p.m., but it took nearly 5 hours until police and the mayor released an update. A source at the Seattle Police Department telling Fox 13 officers wanted to hold a briefing Sunday night, but Mayor Katie Wilson's office asked them to wait for dignitaries to arrive. Mayor Wilson denied that played any role in the delay.
Did anyone in your office tell SPD leadership that they could not hold that press conference between 7:45 and 8 p.m. Sunday night?
That is not my understanding, no.
Do you know if there's anyone else in your office that are making these calls without your knowledge?
That is not my understanding, no. So my understanding, which I shared yesterday, is that first of all, we had a lot of communication going back and forth between my office and SPD and our state and federal elected officials as we were trying to work together on the response to this incident.
When you have a mass shooting.
Hold on. And like I said, at Seattle Center, we had a scene of active investigation where the police were actively looking for suspects. And so my understanding is that we were told that it was not helpful to have me or other elected officials coming down to the scene while that active search was going on. And so we went back and forth and eventually landed on an appropriate time to address the press and to share information.
Our source telling us SPD was willing to do multiple briefings that night and wanted to get the first stream of information out hours before Sunday's news conference, which started close to 11 o'clock that night. At the end of yesterday's news conference, Mayor Wilson did say they will be reviewing the last few days to improve communication.
Seattle's iconic Seafair is this weekend, and organizers say they are already prepared when it comes to safety. But after Sunday's shooting, they say they understand why some may be worried about attending another large event. Sean Chitness is live this morning with more on what procedures are already in place to make sure this is a safe weekend for everyone. Good morning, Sean.
Maria, good morning. We're learning from leadership at Seafair that they had already made some changes, that they wanted to take the security to another level before we saw what happened over the weekend. And so the CEO of Seafair talking a little bit about what folks can look for and what they should be prepared for. They're going to be here at Genesee Park enjoying multiple events that include the air show, the hydroplane races, as well as a car show. So part of those changes or improvements that you will be noticing, the weapons detection system that is going to be at every single entrance, and the event itself is gated, so all guests will need to go through security to get in at some point. Seafair's president and CEO Emily Cantrell herself survived the deadliest mass shooting in U.S. history, which was in Las Vegas back in 2017. Cantrell says that traumatic experience informs her position and how she leads the organization preparing for events this weekend. She says there will be more than 200 law enforcement officers from Seattle Police and other agencies working the event.
I would not feel comfortable inviting friends and family or the general public out to one of our events if I didn't think we were doing everything we could. But if there are long lines, please understand why we're doing this and know that it's for your own safety.
So Seattle Police yesterday said that they would increase staff at upcoming events for the city during the summer. That was at that news conference you just saw a clip of. But we haven't heard any more details on what that may look like. Fox 13 has asked the department for more information. What we do know is that Seafair is using a new security company this year that has technology similar to what you would find at NFL events or stadiums. Cantrell, the CEO, saying that ticket sales were looking good for the event as of yesterday, so the interest is still there. Seafair running Friday, Saturday, and Sunday of this weekend, and the hope is that when you arrive, you will see such a large law enforcement presence that will hopefully make you feel safe when you attend those activities. Live in Seattle, Sean Chitness, Fox 13 News.
Thank you, Sean. And coming up in our next half hour, we're going to take a closer look at how family members are remembering those who died in Sunday's shooting, plus the response from Seattle's police chief after a tense moment with a reporter went viral.